JuJu Smith-Schuster is getting comfortable as the new #1 receiver, with the Steelers catching a touchdown from Big Ben in a preseason game on Sunday. But that's not the only boost he's gotten recently. The third-year receiver was tied for #7 on the Sports Business Journal's most marketable players list, while his predecessor, Antonio Brown, wasn't on the list at all, which is crazy. Skip, how surprised are you that JuJu ended up so high on this list?
So you were pretty surprised that my guy Dak Prescott was 10th.
10, yeah.
But by far, the biggest shock on this list is JuJu Smith-Schuster all the way up, tied for 7th, and threatening to make it into the top 5, while Antonio was in the second 10 because he was 14th in the total list.
Right.
So tied for 7th versus 14th, and he played in AB's shadow in Pittsburgh. Very interesting. So what do we learn from this? What's the moral to this story? You have an AB who, to me, is the biggest self-promoter in all of the NFL, and I got no problem with it. It's just the way business is done. It's like this day and age.
Right.
That's fine. But he is all about clicks and likes.
Right.
He lives on IG, and to his credit, he has huge charisma. We can even see it on Hard Knocks. He's got like a million-watt smile, and when he turns on his personality, there's a lot of charm to him.
Yeah, he has the best smile.
Okay?
Whew.
Yet, JuJu is more marketable because, to me, he's just far more likable.
Yes.
And he is backing it up so far on the football field, and I think he will continue to this year.
Okay.
So what's wrong with AB? Too many incidents, too many controversies. It's always something with AB, and a lot of times it's negativity. It's AB versus Ben. It's AB versus the Steelers. It's AB versus the league over the new helmet, right? It's always a controversy that has a negative vibe to it, right?
I'll give you that.
So that has hurt his marketability in the biggest picture when he wants to sell himself, because business is booming, right? Okay, so JuJu is a great kid. We've had him on the show. And in the explanation of why he is tied for 7th, some of the let me read some of it here. On, what was it? Sports Business Journal?
Yeah.
Smith-Schuster's appearance on the list is driven in large part by his social media acumen, his interest in esports, and his open and accessible personality. He's a new age hero. He's the epitome of the next generation. Generation Z loves him, and he's well positioned to be at the forefront of the NFL's marketing initiatives going forward. That is a big mouthful for a kid that I did not see coming yet like this. But just for the record, he caught 111 balls last year to AB's 104. He had 1,426 yards receiving to 1,297 for AB, and he was voted, as you know, the team MVP.
Right.
So the players bought into him, and I've bought into him because he's more likable because he doesn't sell himself to you. He's not trying hard to convince you, I'm this and I'm that, the way Antonio always comes off as if
he's selling himself without selling himself.
He is. No, he is. It's pleasant. He's accessible. He's open. And remember at that last playoff game, he stood out on the field at the end of the field.
Look at the scoreboard.
The scoreboard of the Ravens game because they needed the Ravens. You know. So
Skip, I agree with you, Skip. I am surprised. But I think and they mention it, and I had it wrote down, Skip, I think he's very relatable. He has a great personality. The Pittsburgh Steelers, that's a very, very prominent franchise.
No, it is.
And they travel very, very well. But I'm surprised considering that he's so young, he plays a dependent position. But because all the reasons that they mentioned, his social media, he comes across as very likable. He comes across as very relatable. Like, you see him, Skip, he's in a shoe store and he buys everybody's shoes. Or he's playing e-sport games with people on IG. So they look at that like, man, he cool, man. He just like one of the homies. People like relatability. People they're like, man, he just, he's a professional. But if you didn't know he played sports, you would never knew he played sports. At this current juncture right now, what is AB gonna market? Where you gonna put it? What you gonna let AB sell to you?
I don't know. I wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Change his mind.
Yeah, exactly. So for me right now, Skip, I am surprised. I'm really surprised because I think they're like, and it just goes to show you, you don't have to be the best, but you just have to have some quality that resonate with the people at home. And he has a quality, his likability, his relatability, his infectious personality. He comes across as warm. He comes across as, it's like, man, he doesn't come across like, man, I'm sick of him. I wish he'd just cut it out.
Yeah.
I think people are tired of the back and forth that AB is going back and forth with Ben.
Yep.
I think they want him not to just take the high road. Okay, you got what you wanted.
Yep.
You wanted out of Pittsburgh. You got your money. Why do you need to feel the need to go back and forth? JuJu doesn't have that. So
he has a likability that's very clear because I was around him a lot at USC, and I felt like everyone kind of always wanted to be where JuJu was.
Right.
And it was the same with the media. You just couldn't get enough of him.
Right.
And everyone said from that day on, they're like, he's going to be a star.
And he got a cool name, JuJu.
It's great.
I mean, he got a little cool name, little homie name growing up back
Thinking about that, you name your kid JuJu. That's, you know, he's going to be somebody.
Yeah, he better be.
I like the whole ring of JuJu Smith-Schuster. It's just a cool name.
I mean, how you gonna go? Hey, JuJu. I mean, how you gonna go into a normal job 9 to 5? Hey, JuJu.
Yeah, you're not gonna. You got to be big.
Not
gonna be forgotten.
Yeah.
Do I think that JuJu is better than Antonio? I do not.
No.
He's just not. Do I think he's really good? Do I think he's going to get better?
Yes.
Do I think Ben Roethlisberger is going to make a point of trying to make him a star? I do. To your point, you say, better be careful what you wish for, because you're going to get doubled, and you're going to feel a whole lot different coverage swung to you.
It might be a situation where they doubled AB and JuJu got the honey. They double JuJu and James Washington get the honey.
Well, James is going to get some honey. Just watch.
Guys, we got to go back to Jerry here. Is he really going to let Zeke miss regular season games? It could come to this. We'll discuss next.
No.